How are you doing today? I want to talk about one of man's biggest enemy. Because when this thing affects you, there's little or nothing you can do. It subdues you and makes you powerless. It reduces your ability to function and think clearly. And that's nothing other than our biggest enemy, anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, uncertainty about the outcome of something. Now, that something could be your future, it could be a business you just started, it could be an interview or an exams you just wrote or took. You're not sure about it, and that has sometimes it has little or nothing to do with your performance. When you're faced with anxiety, it comes not as a result of your lack of performance or preparation. There are so many things that can bring about anxiety. Uncertainty about the future, as I earlier mentioned. When you're not sure about what the future holds for you, what you will be doing in the future, what the plan of the future will be about for you, you can become anxious. Distrust in God. We have become so woke that we start having the mentality of I can do it all by myself. That makes us lose our trust in God. Now, losing your trust in God is one thing, but totally forgetting about God can also increase your anxiety. When you talk about God, most people feel people who believe in God are delusional. How can you believe in God? God will come down, come give you food. That's the mentality, that's the symbol people use to address other people that hold tight to God. As much as you feel God will not come down and cook food for you to eat, that is true. But He can give you the strength and direct you on the ways to go for you to get that food to eat. Even though faith without work is dead, but you cannot undermine the importance of God in your life. Dissatisfaction in your quality of life. Everybody have a mental picture of what they expect their life to be. Everybody have an idea of what they want to be in life, especially when you're growing up as a child. Even children, if you go to a child and ask them, what would you like to be when you grow up? You will hear them saying things. I also remember what I would love to be when I became an adult. Here I am as an adult. I'm not even that yet. But the point is, everybody have expectations of them. Now, when you reach there and it's like, I have not met up to this expectation I had for me, or I'm just not okay with what my life is. Traumatic childhood or difficult adulthood can bring about anxiety. When you've experienced so many problems that weigh you down, bad experiences can cause you to have anxiety, can make you tense, nervous about the next minute or the next day. Lack of confidence also can bring about anxiety. For instance, you have a paper to present. Rather than going to study or put yourself together, you sit there lamenting because you feel you cannot handle being in front of the crowd. If you have a paper to present and you feel anxious, that's okay. It's fine. There is an action that is causing you to feel that way. But if after you've presented your paper, you still feel anxious, you go home, you take a cold bath, you eat well, you sleep, you wake up, you still feel anxious, now that becomes a problem because it reduces your ability to function effectively. So when you're facing chronic anxiety, whereby you're living every day in a tense mode, in a flight or fight mode, that is wrong for anybody. All these things put together can bring about anxiety. Because of time limitation, I will not exhaust everything I have to say about the causes of anxiety. What are the ways we can cope or minimize the effect of anxiety? Because the truth is, you cannot totally eradicate anxiety from humanity. No, we are bound to feel nervous once in a while. For the woke people that feel God does not have enough to do or have so much to do with mental related issues, please, this is the part where I beg you to listen and just have an open heart and an open mind. Just because scientists have come up with cures for so many things or explanations to solve life's puzzle does not mean that God does not exist. For example, I dare any scientist to come up any day and control the rising of the sun and its setting. But there is a God that governs the natural mysteries of the world that have explanations to these things, but we tend to not trust in Him. Cast all your cares on the Lord and He will sustain you. He will not allow you to be moved. These are not just words. Take it from somebody that has seen the hands of God. Though everything is not perfect, but trust me, when you lean on God and allow Him to direct you, you will never be put to shame. Cast all your cares on the Lord. Trust in God, the one who loves you unconditionally. He said, if the birds in the air who do not toil or labor, they do not have farmlands, they don't know what seed time and harvest time is, but they eat. How much more you and I? They have materials to build their nest. They sleep at night and go on with whatever they do, just flying in the air. But God sustains them. How much more you? How much more Audrey? How much more all of us that have been made in the image and likeness of our Father? Why do we allow this demonic tool the devil puts in our mind called anxiety to direct us? Anxiety is the leading cause of so many chaotic situations. It's anxiety, uncertainty that causes someone to go into robbery. It is uncertainty that causes people to carry out all forms of social vices, because they do not believe that without these vices, they can actually live and live well. So I'm urging all of us today, including myself, to increase our faith in our Father in heaven, because He is more than ready and capable to sustain us. God gives peace. If you go to see your uncle, maybe you have a wealthy uncle somewhere, you go to see him and he promises to give you money. Do you know the kind of excitement you will feel? The faith you will have in him? For a mere mortal's promise, you will feel so excited and happy. But when you read the word of God and see His promises, see His words of assurance to you, you do not feel as excited. You do not have that confidence in the word of God, the word of God that is true, the word of God that cannot change, that stands the test of time. That is not good. So let us increase our faith in God. Let us increase our hope in our Father in heaven, because He's always there. God does not fail. Look, I do not care what you're going through. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not undermining your pain or sorrows. But I really don't want to understand what that issue is that has made you remove your faith in God. Please go back and trust in your Father. He cares about you. Now, adopt the one day at a time approach. It's good to plan about the future, but let go of things that you cannot control. Let go. One day at a time. The problem in life is people are already living 6, 5, 10 years ahead. You do not know if you will live till that time. But you are letting yourself soak the worries of days, weeks, years that are still far ahead. Every day you wake, you see a new day. You see your food to eat. You see a drink to drink. Tell God thank you. And as much as you're putting in the work, trying the best you can, leave the outcome to your Father and do not worry. Now, I know that sometimes one day is too much for us to function well. Try hours at a time. And if an hour is too much, please try 1 minute at a time. When you live through each minute, before you know it, a whole day is gone and you're fine. Appreciate the little things. The beautiful thing about life is There is always something to be grateful for. You cannot be down in every aspect of your life at a time. And the happiest people in life are those who find happiness in the smallest things. For example, create happiness that are the opposite for the cause of your anxiety. If you're anxious because you do not have money to cater for your necessities, why not shift your focus to the things that money cannot buy? Life. You cannot buy life. That you can even feel anxious is because you are alive. Who don't buy no they think about wetin go chop you know ba? So if you're anxious because you do not have funds to cater for your needs, think about family. Some people are so wealthy but they do not have blood bond. Think about the great friends you have that money cannot buy. Think about your health. Take strolls to places where you find people that are more underprivileged than you are. I do that all the time when I'm down. I take strolls to places where I see people that regardless of whatever I'm going through, I would still choose my situation over theirs. And I read somewhere that if everybody in the world threw their issues for us to exchange, most people will grab their issues back. Are you anxious because you wanted to carry out a business and it did not go through? Well, think about aspects of your life you've excelled in. This will also make you more at ease through that situation. So focus on the little blessings. Draw excitement. You do not have to have it so big for you to appreciate life. Draw strength from previous experiences. Whenever you are anxious, think about times when you've been anxious and how you overcame that situation. When they say experience is the best teacher, those are not just words. Why are you not putting that to practice? If you're anxious because you took an interview and you're not sure if the outcome will be positive, sit back and think about all the interviews you have taken, the ones you made, and even the ones you did not make. Now ask yourself questions. If I made it then, why can't I make it now? When I didn't make it then, did I die? Am I not here? Because life will always bring us opportunities to re-perform. So whether you are sitting there crying because of one setback, what will be will be. You cannot change the outcome of things. Why are you killing yourself crying over a milk that is already spilled? So always find time to visit past difficult situations. I do that a lot. If I'm faced with any challenge that I feel is beyond me, I take a mind stroll to times in my life when I was down, when I was faced with similar or even tougher problems, and how I succeeded. It gives me strength and makes me feel like whatever comes my way, I can overcome.